What's up, everyone? How's it going? It is a warm day out here in Los Angeles, California. It's a bipolar weather, if you ask me personally. Because sometimes it's freezing cold and sometimes it's just so fucking hot. It's so weird. But anyway, Basil the WhiteDragon Masters here. Again, Chapter 5. Today I wanted to talk about nutrition. That's a topic that's very interesting because it is so important, and most people who work out, or women, young teen adults, older people, they don't realize how important that aspect of the entire game is, even more so than the actual training. And that is very true, because like I said, experimented on myself, almost every single thing that I'm going to discuss with you guys. So let's get right into it. You need to understand that, number one, we have several different type of bodies. We have the endomorphs, we have the ectomorphs, we have mesomorphs. Then we also have people who are mesoendos, mesoectos. You know, endoectos. It's so bizarre, but it's so true. And everybody's body works differently. But majority of the people that suffer from, heavy weight and want to lose weight and stuff like that, they are usually endomorphs or mesoendomorphs. Like me, I am not a pure endomorph because I have really big shoulders. And I have a V shape genetically because I come from a big genetic family. Like everybody in my family, my mom's side, my uncles, they're all just like me. They're big, tall, just big legs, big. Everything is just wide and big. But at the same time, with that comes the big midsection, and that's been my nemesis ever since I can remember. I remember growing up as a teenage kid. I always wanted to lose weight, but I just couldn't, I couldn't get that last ab or that abdominal muscle. And I used to work out and do crunches and twists and leg raises and just till I was blue in my face, literally. I worked out like crazy, and I didn't see those results as much as I did later when I really studied about nutrition, and I realized that, holy shit, I was just burning the crap out of myself without even realizing how important that aspect was. So nutrition, once I realized what I should eat, how much I should eat, how much water I should consume, what to do before a competition, my body started transforming completely. And a lot of you will understand that. So let's go quickly into it. If you're an ectomorph, you're somebody, let me give you an example. You're somebody like Brad Pitt, or you're somebody like Bruce Lee. You're skinny, like a really skinny, timid, small guy who can easily get cut. And the reason you're so small is because your body digests and just burns off everything as soon as as soon as you eat something. It's all consumed right away on the spot. And then you go to the restroom and you're done. It's like literally that's how good your metabolism is. Flip side, the con for you guys is you're not able to put on muscle weight. It's harder for you relatively for ectomorphs, people like Bruce Lee or Jackie Chan, or most Asian people, like Chinese, Japanese people. They're mostly ectos, small, skinny people. For them, it's harder to put on muscle, but they get really quickly chiseled up. Right? Look at Bruce Lee. Look at Brad Pitt. Look at Jet Li. Look at all Jackie Chan. These guys are all cut up. They're not big at all. Right? So George St. Pierre from UFC is another good example. He's a complete ectomorph. So putting on size is an issue for them. Then you have endomorphs, which is probably, in my opinion, unfortunately, majority of the people, it's the couch potato body. Unfortunately, most people have it, including myself. I had that for a long time growing up. but I transformed into a mesomorph in my teenage when I started becoming 16, 17, my shoulders, everything started coming out because of my genetics. But I'll come into mesomorph in a second. Endomorph are people who have a lot of body fat retention. They are people who are big, they're bigger shoulders, everything is big, but unfortunately their body retains a lot of fat and a lot of excess water. Whatever they eat, even if they look at something, they might even get, it might even show in their stomach. It's just, unfortunately, those guys have to really work for what they want. And so, unlike the ectomorph, an endomorph will easily put on size. By that I mean, if you, like, for example, if you lift like 30-pound dumbbells and just give 20 pumps, you will blow up, and you might look really like macho and big, which is great. But with that comes this big ass belly, and that's the hardest part, to get big and to get ripped, because that's a catch-22. You can't have them both at the same time. You kind of need to do both. You kind of need to do bulk up first, then cut back down. That's sort of what you got to do, and you guys have to keep your carbohydrates in low. So let me come with this first. Tell me exactly what ecto is, endo is, and then I'll go to meso, and then I'll tell you what diets work for each. So that's endomorph. You know, their pros are that they can put on very high size. They can get big. They're naturally stronger people. They have a lot of strength. You know, bench wise, and just strength is very natural, and they can get big. But for them to get cut is a nightmare. They have to go through drastic measures. Then we have the mesomorph. They're sort of like the lucky ones. A mesomorph would be somebody like me. They come later on. I mean, and don't get me wrong. I wasn't born a mesomorph. I was born a endomorph. But when you start working out early, you could transform into a mesomorph and an endomorph at the same time, because your body is changing as you grow. But when you're working out on top of that, it will change a lot faster. So I became a mesomorph like everybody else in my family. But everything was great. I got nice arms, I got shoulders, you know, I have a chest, you know, everything is great. I got the neck muscles, back, my legs are pretty, if I stand up and I'll show you guys, my leg muscles, you know, those are pretty big too. But my midsection, I have to work 10 times harder than an average ectomorph for somebody who's doing their abs. I have to do those every single day. I have to eat clean every single day. It is not easy. And that's something that a mesomorph is. He's lucky with his genetics and his body shape, but he's not very lucky, again, in that section. So, I'm going to do another video on exactly what diets, in my opinion, and again, in my opinion, what I've figured out, what I've seen in my 20, 30 years of doing martial arts and fitness, I will share that with you in the next video, okay? So stay tuned. This was just a general overview on body types. Now we're going to get into nutrition, all right? Basil the White Dragon Masters, out.